The good news is successful dating is really simple. You've probably been doing it wrong most of your life. So pay attention here to the end and let's talk about a few things. If you want to be amazing at dating, it just stems from creating a space where you can hang out, have fun, and hook up. And I take that premise from a book called How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne. It's $14. If you're just new, fresh on the market, go find that thing on Amazon, pick it up now, read it 10 times, come back to me. But in the meantime, don't leave yet. Let's talk about a few things that will help you when you're going back in the dating market now. The challenge is, if you look back on your life, there's parts that you're very comfortable with, and then there's parts that you feel some anxiety or insecurity about. And normally that anxiety or insecurity is when you're comparing yourself to the wrong models. So this is funny to me because when you really sit back, especially as a guy with experience, I want you to let this settle into your head now. You're a guy that's lived something. Dating takes looks, money, status, essentially. The more looks you have, the more money you have, the more status you have, the easier dating is. And the more looks you have or the more money you have, the higher your status is. So you can optimize any three of those to make this very successful. My point to you is, if you are 40 years old right now, if you got broad shoulders, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror at yourself. If you got decent attraction levels, if you know how to make eye contact, if you have a job where you're making over minimum wage, if you own a car, if you're not neck deep in debt and creditors aren't calling you about 90 days behind on everything, you're attractive, man. You're a dude that has lived life, that has experience, that has gone farther in the game, and that is wildly attractive. But you have to watch who you're comparing yourself to. If you're looking back now and you're a child of the 80s, late 70s, even the early 90s, and you're trying to compare yourself to like young Gen Z, it's a wash, man. It's a wash because you don't belong in that cohort. Most of you guys, if you're over 30, if you were in a long-term relationship, there's a 97% chance that you got lazy and sloppy. And I'm talking mentally, and I'm talking about the clothes you wear. And look, again, this isn't a fashion podcast. This isn't a podcast about how to look like those 23-year-old dudes. Dress like you. But you got to admit to yourself, you're probably wearing shitty shoes because you think it's comfortable. And don't listen. You're going to think that this is so shallow and you're going to think that this is so superficial. But don't let this one go. You need clothes that fit. You need clothes. In fact, this shirt might just be a smidgen too long. You need clothes where the seam of your shoulder fits right there, where the neck does whatever you need it to do, pants that fit you, that have a decent break, and shoes that are worth wearing. So go YouTube that elsewhere. Go read a book. Don't look at a magazine because all they've got is Harry Styles. But at a minimum, you can't be going out with some busted-ass T-shirt, with some ripped pair of jeans that are 2 years too faded, and your crappy little Nautica tennis shoes. All right? So we're going to move very quickly into number 2. I just want you to understand that the way you look does matter for anyone. Number 2, reframe your perspective. And I know that this isn't going to seem obvious to you, but you've probably been playing house for a long time. You got to get out of the mindset. And I made this mistake. I want to be clear. I made this mistake. After my first marriage, we were together a total of like 7 years. I would go out and date girls and I would start thinking, oh, how can I improve her life? How can I contribute to the rent? How can I do like dad type weird things? Get that out of your head. Girls just want to have fun, and I promise you, you just want to have fun. You don't know it yet because you don't know how fun it is, but you just want to have fun. All right, number 3, wild success comes from repetition. And I know that this sounds like work, but it's not. What I'm talking about is doing it until it is fun. And let me tell you something, women are fun. You having fun with women are fun. Women who are having fun with you is fun. This shit's fun. It's nerve-wracking at first. It seems scary. You're embarrassed to walk up to a girl and say, hey, I think that your nails look really good. Let's hang out sometime. What's your number? That might seem intimidating, but it's too easy. It's too easy. You can do this 20 times a day. I know guys that can do this 100 times a day. You could go to a mall, spend a couple hours. You could do this 100 times a day. Just go anywhere that these women are. But what I'm telling you is that the reps bring about wild success. And then my last advice is don't fall into the trap of playing home again. Don't fall into the trap of going into long-term relationship again. Really rest, settle down, and have fun with yourself. Play this out for years. Take time to lick your wounds. Take time to heal. Take time to let these other things go. Remember the other person across from you, everyone, but especially this woman, she wants to have fun. She doesn't want your baggage. She doesn't want your drama. She doesn't want your whole life story. She just wants to have fun. And you create value by having the resources to create that space where you can hang out, have fun, and hook up. If you like this episode, smash that like button, hit the follow button, leave me a comment, find me on 4x4recall.com. I'll see you in the next one.